Yo, what is up, you guys? It's the Michael Myers. Welcome back to a brand new live stream, man. As you guys know, I'm gonna be bringing you guys a new horror movies I watched this week, and yeah. So it's actually Thursday. I just want to start it off by saying, hope you guys are having a dope, productive Thursday, man. Like, as you guys know, I usually do these horror movies I watched this week on Wednesdays, but yesterday I didn't have the chance to do it, but today I'm gonna be bringing it to you guys. And I don't have too many films I watched this week. I only have 6 films, but yeah, man, we're gonna get into it. Like I said, hope you guys are having a dope Thursday, man. We're gonna be talking about a few films here that I watched this week. I might show you guys like 2 new scores I did buy earlier today. Joseph the horror guy, what's up, dude? How's it going, man? Hope you're doing pretty good on this chill Thursday night. I'm not deleting my YouTube channel. That's dope, man. Yeah, I don't think you should, man. I think you should definitely keep going. First film we're gonna be talking about here, a classic. Definitely, it was just a random one. I was like, let's check it out. Let's rewatch this film. The original, The Evil Dead, classic film, man. Curtis Smith, what's up, man? Glad you made it back to the live chat. Like I said, hope you guys are having a good Thursday afternoon. The original Evil Dead, man. The Evil Dead, great film. Whew. My personal opinion, this is my favorite. Excuse me, this is my favorite Evil Dead movie from the whole series. Something about this movie, man. It's like kind of like my go-to because it really reminds me of them old school, like we mentioned before, them old school 80s classics. Evil Dead is definitely one of them. It's just like, to me, the Evil Dead series, as you guys know, was one of those that kind of, I wouldn't say it went downhill. I don't think it went downhill at all. I mean, heck, I heard somewhere where Evil Dead is actually the most successful horror movie franchises of all time, and that's including Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. I read that somewhere, or I heard that somewhere. But hey, man, it's I definitely, if that's the case, I get it, because I think they were smart. Sam Raimi was smart in taking the series where it went, and what I mean by that is making the series a horror comedy. Not the biggest fan. I like Evil Dead 2. It's grown on me throughout the years. At first I remember not liking it though, but it has grown on me for sure. But one film that I know a lot of people do love, Army of Darkness. I've never been the biggest fan um of Army of Darkness for specific reasons. For that reason, it's too cheesy for me. It's not my cup of tea. We've talked about it on the channel, but Evil Dead, man, the original. This is where it's always been for me. Yeah, man, for sure. Ash Williams is a great character. I think, of course, in this one, it's the introduction. We see a young Bruce Campbell. But of course, I think if you want to see some Ash Williams, I recommend Evil Dead 2, man, because Evil Dead 2 is, of course, kind of more focused on him. This is kind of just more focused on, the Evil Dead and, the group of friends. But of course, oh shit, of course we know what happens at the end of this movie. He does end up getting possessed, and from then on we get the Ash that we love. Yeah, man, Evil Dead Rise, Curtis Smith, it's a dope film, man. I really did like it. I can't wait. It's gonna come out on Blu-ray in the next few weeks. I can't get it, man. I can't wait to get it and rewatch it. I only saw it in the theater once, but it was a great film, man. I really did enjoy it personally. It really saved the Evil Dead. I mean, the Evil Dead series, I don't think has a bad film in it. So it's not like it saved it. The previous one before that was the remake. I thought was pretty good. But it was a great comeback. Let's put it that way. It was a great comeback. because it definitely, and I feel the sound of it was great, man. It really felt dope in the movie theater. There's a few things I wasn't the biggest fan of, and once I rewatch it, I'll probably catch on a few more things. But I really liked it, man. I really did. Yeah. I when I did. If you guys have not seen my Evil Dead Rise review, you guys can go check that out, man. I believe I did rank the Evil Dead movies, man, and yeah, it just brought it back. And I think the 2013 did a good job with that. It did a good job on bringing it back to the horror base. Like I said, to me, this is where it's at. This is like where it still felt horror. We had Evil Dead 2, 3, or Army of Darkness, which kind of felt kind of like horror comedy ish. And then with the 2013 remake, they did a great job on making it horror again, you could say. And then Evil Dead Rise just killed it out of the ballpark. So yeah, I'm glad it's kind of Evil Dead Rise did a great thing on balancing both. Um, on balancing the comedy, the humor, and the horror elements, but definitely Evil Dead Rise improved that. It did a great job. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Highly recommend checking it out. Yeah, I have not seen it, man. I don't know. It's a new movie that came out or what? Yeah, but I have not seen it. As of now, I have not seen it. But the original Evil Dead, man. Uh, Great film. You could say I seen people say the effects on this, like they're still good. Like they're still watchable. But of course, some of this stuff has aged a little bit. But it's definitely not bad at all, man. Like I said, it's a great film. Um, if people want to get introduced to, it took me a while. I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but it took me a while to get into the Evil Dead series. Um, but I remember, man, when I watched them, I was like, damn, I was kind of late, because of course, it's not like a series I grew up watching. I grew up with the Halloweens, Nightmares, Fridays, and all that, but Evil Dead, man, was one of those I was late to the party with, and I'm glad I was able to check it out. So, Evil Dead, great film. That was the first film we watched. Next on the list, man, another classic, Stephen King's It. The reason I rewatched it is because, as you guys know, a few days ago, I did my top 5 Stephen King movies, and I literally, I watched it, man. I watched it that same night. I was like, it's been a while. I have not seen the original 1990 miniseries, but yeah, man, it's a great film. At the time, people weren't really the biggest fan. Like some people really do like the remake more than the 1990 version. For me, it will always be the 1990 version because you know it, it's just the nostalgic. For me, I grew up with this movie, and of course, it has one of the most iconic horror scenes of all time. Which is the Georgie scene. I remember being terrified as a kid with that damn scene. Um, but yeah, not the biggest fan of like the second part. I know it's not as entertaining, you could say, as the first part. Of course, the first part is when they're kids and they're discovering it. Um, so yeah, the first part is great. I think it's a great job on even the music. I think is great. Um, of course, they get introduced to all this stuff. But what a great way to start this movie, man. With that classic scene, man. I think that really kind of set off that honestly the most iconic scene in the movie. And of course, once we get to the second part, it kind of course, they're grown ups. They link back. They link back together to I guess the promise they made. As a kid, the Lucky Seven. But it's a dope film, man. I actually, like I said, I rewatched both parts because every time I watch it, I watch both parts. It's not like I just watched the first one, which of course I prefer, but I gotta watch them back to back. But Stephen King's It, man. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people like I kind of do get it. Some of the stuff hasn't aged in this movie. like at that time, I guess it was considered a bit cheesy. But and like I said, since the It remake came out, it was a big improvement. So people kind of lean towards more to that one. Literally, man, because I remember before the remake came out, like now, if you go on Google, just search up Pennywise. It's mostly images from the remake, and that's crazy. It kind of overshadowed this one, if you ask me, because I don't really hear people talk about this one too much. Of course, us as fans, um, we know what's up. We know the go-to. And yeah, this is my go-to, man. I haven't seen the remake in quite some time now. I might rewatch it. I think the last time I saw it was back in the Halloween season. I guess it was like playing on Sci-Fi or whatever. It's grown on me. It's kind of, I was never the biggest fan of the It remake, but it kind of has grown on me, man. But It 1990, pretty good film. Next on the list, Silence of the Lambs, man. This is a movie that took me quite some time, man. Like when I was a kid, I was always fascinated with discovering new characters, new movies. Hannibal Lecter, man, was always one of those, you could say, popular horror characters for sure. Um, but it took me a while, man, to kind of get into uh, to these movies because, like, it was always kind of weird for me. But of course, once I saw it, man, I really did like it. I think it's a good, you could say, kind of psychological thriller kind of thing. But Hannibal Lecter, man, great character. I own all the movies. I own all the Hannibal movies. I don't think I've seen. I think it was the 2007 version. I'm not sure. There's quite a few. But this one, man, to me, and Red Dragon. I think Red Dragon was like the next one after this one. And I think that's a prequel. I could be wrong, guys. Like I said, I'm not as familiar with these movies, but the original, man, Silence of the Lambs, great film. Of course, it is based on the novel. They have a novel on Silence of the Lambs. I think the main chick who is like doing her investigation or whatever on Hannibal, she does a great job, man. I think she carries the movie really good. And yeah, just the whole Buffalo Bill aspect. Like I said, at first it was a little weird, but hey, it's grown on me for sure. Like I've seen this a few times now. It's a great film, man. Like I said, it's one of those that really, it's like you could say a great definition of a horror movie right here. Silence of the Lambs, and yes, for sure, this will definitely. Right now, I'm working on my top 10 90s horror films, or actually, I might do top 10 80s horror films, maybe top 15, but we'll see what happens because there's just a lot of great stuff from the 80s. But top 10 90s, this is gonna be on the list for sure. Pennywise would face off Myers. Oh, that'll be a good one, man, for sure. I love Red Dragon. Yeah, Red Dragon was pretty good. To me, Red Dragon and this one are the most memorable for me. I know after that they had like Hannibal, and then they had, I forget, Hannibal Rising and all this. And what's it called? Uh, and then after that they made like a TV series. Which, if you guys know what's up with the Hannibal TV show? Is that like connected to this or what? But yeah, Red Dragon's a good movie. Have you watched the Spirit Halloween movie from the store? The store is haunted. Actually, I've not seen it, man. Yeah, didn't that movie came out like a year ago? Probably like a year or two ago. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I have not seen it. I have not seen it, but I remember hearing about that, man. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They make a movie based on an actual Halloween story, probably the biggest Halloween story. Silence of the Lambs, good film. Next on the list, a classic, man. Scream. I actually rewatched Scream the other day. I was like, heck, this is like a comfort movie for me. Excuse me, this is like a comfort movie. Like I said, it's my go-to. Like I always, every time I rewatch it, I always, no matter how many times I watch it, man, I will never get bored of Scream. It's such an iconic movie. We've talked about it before. Um, it definitely revolutionized the horror genre. Of course, this was '96. At this point, the horror genre, you could say, kind of went downhill. But I think Scream was definitely here to revive it. You could say, because after this, yes, we did get a lot of same style movies as Scream. So it was definitely a big impact for sure, man. Scream is another one of those for me that I don't think there's a bad movie at all in the series. Most of them are pretty good. Of course, we have our least favorite. Not too long ago, I did rank them. So yeah, there's a few films in the Scream series. Some are weaker than others, but the original's where it's at for me, man, for sure. It's such an iconic movie, and yeah, everyone knows Scream for sure. So Scream 1996. We got two more films to go. Another classic, man. I've been watching classics as of lately. The Omen. This movie has always stuck to me, man. This one made my top 20 horror movies of all time, if I'm not mistaken. Such a creepy movie. Of course, this is like one of those movies that are considered cursed. Um, and yeah, the type of movie this is, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, um, you could say it was a little bit ahead of its time, because what year was this? 70. I can see right here in the dark. 71? 76. 1976. Like I said, you could say it was ahead of its time, man. One of the deaths have always stuck to me from this movie. Throughout the years, they have always stuck to me. The scene where um, they're having like the party or whatever, the birthday party, and then the babysitter or the one of the aunts of the little boy Damien, she like literally like hangs herself from the window, which was crazy, man. Like really, like a lot of the death scenes in this have always stuck to me. But yeah, man, great film. If you guys have not seen The Omen, go check it out. I definitely recommend it. Kind of a creepy film, kind of a dark film. Like I said, it was a little bit ahead of its time. But yeah, horror, bloody horror. What's up, man? How's it going? Hope you're doing pretty good, man. Uh, as a matter of fact, I was just right now. I'm in the process of putting it together. Is it fine if I kind of talk about it, like not go into fully detail, but just like let it known, what I just finished doing. But yeah, I love the movie. Yeah, for sure, man. Scream's a great film. I watch horror franchises from AMC Fear Fest. Yeah, man, I grew up with AMC Fear Fest. As a matter of fact, I think that's what got me into horror, man. Just watching a lot of these movies on AMC Fear Fest. Uh, just going on TV, and as a kid, just watching them, man, definitely terrified me. A lot of early films, but yeah, I hope AMC Fear Fest. I do believe they change them every now and then. I believe for the last few years they were kind of similar. But I hope they do kind of switch it up a little bit. But it's always dope, man. Like even during the Halloween season, when the films are they have the marathons and stuff like that. I'm always tuned in, man, for sure. Um, Yeah, for sure, man. Horror, bloody horror. I will talk a little bit about it. Um, we got one more film to look at, but yeah, man, I think it's a great idea. I think it's definitely something. It's a great project. I'm really looking forward to, man. And yeah, I will be sending that out to you by tonight for sure. But The Omen, great film. The last film on this list, like I said, I didn't really watch as much films this week, but there's a modern film, which in my opinion, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's one of the best modern films because it's definitely one of them, but I can't fully say that. because I haven't really seen a lot, man, honestly. Like I've seen the main ones, you know, Conjuring, Insidious, uh quite a few more. And I know recently there's been a lot of good ones, but I really have not seen them. That's a video I do have planned sometime in the future, making like a top 10 modern horror movies of all time. And this is definitely gonna go on it, man. Ti West's X, man. This movie came out like 2 years ago or a year ago. Great film, man. This one, I think, the main reason I loved it, great story, great concept. You could say we've kind of seen this before, not really though, but it's definitely a great tribute, reminiscing movie of like the '80s slashers. Um, that's what I got from it, man. You know, when I first watched this, it definitely reminded me like of an old school vintage horror movie, and that's what I love seeing, especially when it comes to modern films, since a lot of modern horror films kind of don't, they're not really the same as, you know, the old school movies. But this one did a great job on capturing it, man. I know it definitely has that Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe. Um, but yeah, man, like I said, this one, if I ever make a top 10 modern, once I get to the point where I feel like I've seen enough modern horror movies, this definitely will make the list, man. Great film. We got Mia Goth, which she's dope. A lot of her films, Pearl, which kind of has to do with the same universe or whatever, same story. I'm not sure on that. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I think like Pearl X, what other one? And I think there's one Mia Goth is working on right now. But I guess all of those Ti West movies, those A24 movies, they're like same universe. And Pearl is another great modern film as well. But yeah, man, great. This is just a great storytelling, man. Like I said, I think Ti West did a great job on capturing that old school vintage film. The characters are great. I mean, we got Jenna Ortega, of course, Martin Henderson, Brittany Snow, and Scott Mescudi. But yeah, man, dope film. Like I said, I rewatched it the other night, and it's definitely kind of a crazy film. You know, if you guys seen it, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, man, I remember even when it came out, it was kind of like a kind of, you could say, a big hype for it, because and you could say it definitely lived up to it. It definitely lived up to it because it like I said, it just, you could say we've seen something like same style as this before, but at the same time it felt like refreshing, you know, especially like I said, coming from a lot of these modern films, man, where a lot of them are pretty much the same. Like I said, I haven't seen enough modern films to say that, but from the ones I've seen, they're not as standouts, if you know what I mean. And I think this was a standout, same as Pearl, which is, I think, the prequel to this, the story of Mia Goth's character. But yeah, man, I can't wait to see more Mia Goth, because she's, man, she's awesome. She's awesome, man. So yeah, that's those were the films I watched this week. Like I said, didn't watch much. I have a few films I plan on watching tonight. So yeah, those were the films, man, that we watched this week from Dating last Wednesday. Like I said, I know it's Thursday, but it's better late than never, you know? So yeah, a few films right here. I'm gonna show you guys a few new scores I got earlier today. Only $2 a movie, man. $2.50 if we want to be exact. Can you do a top 10 monster movie crossover next tomorrow? For sure, man. I mean, I was kind of thinking. I thought your comment said, Can you make a top 10 Universal monster movie?" Uh, that's kind of like a video I kind of want to do as well, man. Kind of talk a little bit more. Maybe do a top 5 just to make it more tighter. A top 5 Universal monster movies of all time. But crossovers, I mean, yeah, I'll definitely take that into consideration. There's actually a few I've seen, so that'll be kind of an interesting movie or interesting movie, interesting video. Frankenstein meets the Wolfman. I've never seen it. As a matter of fact, I've only seen, of course, the originals. Um, Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. I've never seen that, but I remember kind of reading a little bit about it. Like I know, I'm a believe me. I know a lot of you guys really did like my horror movie crossover video. I'm working on part two. Trust me, I will do a part two, kind of just talking about more crossovers, but and crossovers that were supposedly um on the works. It's always a great conversation, man, with these crossover movies. But Sadako versus Kayako, man, that's an interesting one. That's a movie I will be talking about in my crossover movies part two, because that's one movie that I that's out of like all of those, of course, other than the popular ones, Freddy versus Jason, Kong versus Zilla, uh, Alien versus Predator, The Grudge versus The Ring. It's a silly movie, kind of, but I don't know, but yeah, we will talk about it more for sure. But yeah, I will take that into consideration. Do like a top 10 crossover movies, maybe top 5 once I see a little bit more. But here are a few new scores, man, I picked up today. I will be watching some of these movies, when I get the chance. The Rage Carry 2. I'm aware I've seen this I think a few times, but it's been a while. Not the greatest film. Of course, it doesn't beat the original Carrie, but this is considered Carrie Part 2. Um, I'm not sure. It's 2001 or 1999. This movie came out in 1999. People consider this like kind of like a reboot, like a remake, because obviously it's new characters. It doesn't continue from, uh, from the first classic. But I'll give it a chance. It's kind of like a teenager kind of movie. Late 90s. So I'll check it out. It's been a while. I think the first time I saw this was on TV. But yeah, man, The Rage Carry 2. If you guys have seen this, let me know what you guys think. And this one, man, this is a film I've been looking forward to pick up for quite some time now. I've been looking at the DVD stores, and where I bought these films was actually a video game store. But they always have great films, man. Like their DVD section and it's kind of small, but there are always some films that I never see anywhere. For example, Rage Carry 2. I might have seen this somewhere else, but this one, like I said, I've been looking forward to buying it. I could never find it. I was eventually gonna buy it on eBay, but hey, man, I found it for $250. Had to get it. The original Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis. Classic film, man. I can't wait to rewatch this tonight. I might rewatch this tonight. I've been itching to rewatch it. Um, Another great prom night movie, of course. There's quite a few, like you could even say rip-offs. What year was this? Doesn't say. But yeah, there's a lot of, a good handful of horror movies that have to, do with the prom night, the prom day. Carrie is one of them. But prom night, man, this is like kind of the main ones for me, other than Carrie. But of course, man, Jamie Lee Curtis does her thing, man. Like always, can't wait to see. I always like seeing movies with young Jamie Lee Curtis. The Fog, which was another one I was gonna watch this week, man, but I didn't get the chance. So maybe The Fog, the original John Carpenter's The Fog, might make it for next week's video, and most likely these two that I just bought today. So yeah, pretty dope. I came across Prom Night, the original. I know that I seen the remake. Oh Jesus Christ! But great film, Prom Night. So yeah, man, those were my new scores. These two new films and horror movies I watched this week. So yeah, Hopefully for the next week I have a few more titles. Joseph the horror guy, I'm back. What's up, man? I did my first stream. It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty dope. Definitely, if I get the chance, I'll check it out after I'm out of here. But yeah, man. I mean, that's gonna come to my end on this live stream. Like I said, just wanted to talk about a few of these films that I watched during the week. Now I want to talk about this project that I'm currently working on with my good friend Horror Bloody Horror, if you guys seen him around here. But of course, man, we've been doing YouTube for quite some time now, and all credit to Horror Bloody Horror, man. He came at me with this idea, on kind of putting together this project, a documentary on, just talking about, going over on how it is for us YouTubers, being a horror fan. And I already before I started the live stream, I was editing my part a bit. I got my part out of the way. I'm just editing it a bit before I send it over to send my final clip to Horror Bloody Horror. But yeah, man. I mean, I had a great time filming this little clip. I mean, he gave me some questions to answer where I'd be going over some of these questions. And those are kind of like the main topics we're going to be touching on with, in the documentary, man. And I really, like I said, when he came to me with this idea, I really did like it, man, because, I just think it's great when us as fans, we come together and we kind of do this project collaboration thing to get different sides from the fans and us fellow YouTubers. But yeah, man. I mean, I definitely can't wait to see who else is gonna be on board with this. I definitely appreciate you, man, Horror Bloody Horror, for giving me the chance to be a part of this project. I know my other good friend on YouTube, as you guys know, Slasher Movies 410. He will also be featured on the documentary, and yeah, man. I mean, I just really can't wait to see what the final product of this documentary, this project, is gonna turn out, man. Because I definitely have some high hopes for it, man. So very excited to see this documentary. Yeah, man, for sure. Like I said, I really can't wait to see how it all ends up. I think I think it's a great, the questions that I answered. I think they're really good questions, man. That could lead up to a great conversation, man. But yeah, I think it'll definitely work, man. I think it'll definitely work. I'm not sure if this is you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, have we had something like this before done by horror YouTubers? I'm not really sure, man. From my knowledge, I'm not sure. But hey, man, if it's the first, it's definitely it's a great thing. Ted Ted Raj, Unstable Freak. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I think it's an awesome thing, and I definitely hope you guys who are watching this, or see this live stream later on, definitely hop on board, man, and definitely be on the lookout for it, man, because I feel like, even as like a watcher, as a consumer, I think it would also be a great thing, and I hope it really does have like an impact, you could say, with other YouTubers, kind of have them gain the motivation, or the interest, maybe spark the interest, on upcoming YouTubers to start doing their thing. So yeah, it's a great thing, man. So definitely want you guys. maybe I will do like when I do my weekly live streams. I will be in touch with Horror Bloody Horror. If you guys have not subscribed to him, go subscribe to him, man. Right now, man. He definitely has some good content. You know, horror discussions and stuff like that, and I believe some reviews. But yeah, and you know, when I do these weekly live streams, I'm gonna keep in touch with him. You know, once progress starts, you know, building up, once the progress starts going, um, and I'll kind of give you like weekly updates. You know, it's I wouldn't say weekly because I know some of this work does take quite a while, but you know, whenever he gives me the green light and you know has some process done, I could maybe talk to you guys a little bit about it. But yeah, man, no problem. Thank you, man, for giving me the opportunity, man. It's definitely a great. I had a good time filming that video. Like I said, I will have it to you by tonight. Um, so for sure, I want to be a YouTuber right now, but it will be my choice if I want to be an actor. That's cool, man. That's cool. I mean, like I said, I think this little project we're doing, I hope it really inspires people. And like I said, gives them the motivation to hop into the whole YouTube thing, man. Because on my portion of the project, I will kind of give you guys my side of how I not just became a horror fan. Of course, we talk about that, but also how it is being having a horror YouTube channel, you know, and how it's been for me, you know, all these years on YouTube. And yeah, I think it's dope. It's a dope piece that we're putting together. Now that I know of, I think this is the first. That's dope, man. Definitely gotta be first for everything, for sure, man, for sure. I think it's a clever idea, man. And like I said, once everything is set into place, once everything is you know, complete, the final product, definitely no rush at all, because we definitely wanna do something great, you know. And yeah, I believe Horror Bloody Horror, you did send me the your first teaser poster for it. I thought it looked great, man. You know, so definitely it all takes time, you know. It all takes time to um you know, shoot and aim for what we're going for. But yeah, even with your portion, man, and you know, Slasher Movies portion, whoever else is gonna be on it, I think it's good collaboration. You know, just seeing you know, different points of views. You know, I agree with. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, for sure, Joseph. Thank you, man, for tuning in. Hope you have a good night as well, man. Like I said, I'm gonna try to give you guys some updates with this project as well. Hoping to drop a trailer maybe in July. That'll be dope, man. Yeah, even a trailer I think will be a great way to kind of get, you know, the fans ready, get the subscribers ready for this project, man. I think it'll definitely have them something to look forward to, you know. But yeah, man, maybe maybe sometime, you know, once we both sooner down the line, you know, once we kind of have more details on this project, we should definitely go live, man, you know, together and maybe talk a little bit more about it. You know, once we get closer, you could say, to the release date, you know. But yeah, that's all I wanted. I didn't want to say as much. I just wanted to give like the heads out to the viewers. You know, just a little something on what we're starting. But but yeah, man, great stuff, man, great stuff. Yeah, man, I can't wait, can't wait. I mean, we're always in touch on the Instagram, so whatever happens, you know, we'll definitely take it into consideration, man. But yeah, I'm gonna be finishing that little portion of mine right now. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Tell me what you guys think. And yeah, if you guys see this later on, you guys should definitely you know, tell me what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, man, shout out to all of you guys who came to hang out with me. You know, Curtis Smith, Horror Bloody Horror, Joseph the Horror Guy. shout out to you guys, man, for coming to hang out with me. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Got some cool content coming out, man. So stay tuned, guys, for the next one. It's the Michael Myers signing out.